I really don't care for copyright.
Kidding.
Is everything okay with you,
No, it's
Mr.
work.
Director?
Work.
Mr.
Yeah,
Director,
no,
I
vale
know.
madre,
Yeah.
güey.
I don't have to clock in or out anymore.
Yeah,
Oh,
but
I'm
I got
so
staff
cool.
texting me at 8:30
It's what
p.m.
24/7. What up, Brandon? See,
What
that's
up,
cool. People
Brandon?
like people. Cool people
Brandon's
like
still in
Brandon.
Hawaii. Shout out Brandon.
Still in Hawaii after a whole week. That's great.
That's
Nobody's
true.
going to
Nice.
go to those Gold Cup games. Hey, we might need somebody to help us cover those games. We'll be in SoFi watching Mexico.
Mexico.
Bill Stadium next to the new Gaylord Resort. It's looking mighty premium.
Oh,
By the way,
that resort
hold
looks
on.
pretty great.
Time out. Abe, do you know anybody that works there?
No, I might actually. I think I might.
Like statistically, like almost everybody in the South Bay will know somebody that works there.
I do.
That's
Like
true.
it's
my
just
sister's
such a
girlfriend works
massive.
there. Yeah,
It's just such a massive.
800
project.
employees right now.
It's incredible
Trying
what
to
they
get to
have over there.
1,600 employees.
Oh my goodness. They're already running. But yeah. All right. So San Diego FC. So San Diego FC come back into Snapdragon Stadium and they have themselves a game lined up on a Wednesday for the first time ever. A half week game, a midweek game. And you know, this is a first, another first, one of the few firsts. I think we're running out of firsts for San Diego FC.
No, there's so many still.
Okay. There's still so many. So one of them is the first Wednesday
No han
game.
ganado 4-0.
They have won 5-0, but
Yeah, not 4-0.
the lineup for San Diego FC against Colorado Rapids, CJ Dos Santos in the goalkeeping position. Going right to left, we have Willie Kumado, number 2, Chris McVeigh, 97. El número 17, is it 17?
Yeah,
Is
17.
he? Oh,
Patty McNair.
you know what? That's a Philip Rivers. That's Philip Rivers. That's a good number for Patty, actually.
I don't like that as a center back number though. That's too high for a center back. You either got to be like 90s or like 17. That's a weird center back number in my opinion.
I don't like that. The only defender number on here is number 2, Willie Kumado.
Really, and he was saved that like he joined later,
Yeah, he
and so
joined
like
later,
they
too.
saved number 2 for him.
Which is fine.
Luca Bombino in the left back position. You have Aníbal Godoy, Yepes Sverskov, Luca de la Torre, the Eternals in the center mid position, and then you have Chucky on the left wing, Dreyer back into the middle, and then Alex Maiton making his return on the right. The same lineup that started the 5-0 game.
Is this the strongest lineup up to date? Is this the best 11 that San Diego FC can put on the field right now?
Without
Yes.
Marcus and Varson, yes,
Right now,
correct.
yes.
That is absolutely correct.
Yeah, I agree. I still would love to see Milan Iloski get a chance to start on top and then Dreyer at the right wing. I love Alex Maiton. I love everything that he brings to the game. I love the speed. I love the drills, the dribbling that he has.
Mhm.
But I still think Iloski gives you that poacher number 9 striker that you need to be successful.
Mhm.
So yes, but I would love to see what they can do with Iloski in between Chucky and Dreyer.
Yeah, I mean that's left to be seen, really, and
Mhm.
I'm not sure why Mikey hasn't gone that direction. Has Iloski started or just earned a starting position?
I think so.
Sure, yes. Like
would say so.
I don't see anything that says otherwise. I think that's the best way I can say that is and phrase it. Like Iloski hasn't given you a reason not to start him, but has he given you enough of a reason to start? And for Mikey Varas, it's not the case right now. But again, giving that opportunity to Alex Maiton, how do you fit him in him?
What a topic right here.
Can we talk about Lofosten and Negri being completely gone now and not complaining though? That's
I will
true.
say, Luca Bombino, class. He's
Yeah.
the best. He's the best at the left back position. I do gotta say that right back position is very competitive. You have Willie Kumado, you have Verhoeven, who started last over the weekend, and then Lofelson, who didn't do a bad job. He also he did a good job when he started early in the season. So I think it's a good problem to have for Mikey Varas. 3 players that are playing at a really good level in that right back position. On the left back, however, I think it's Luca Bombino, Hamadi Diop, and then Negri. Like where the rankings stand, to be honest.
Yeah, and I think that's what we're seeing. Just like I think I've alluded to this a couple of times in a couple of weeks, the separation of oil and water, like the starting 11 and then the bench players, the reserve players, and everybody from there on. Season's greetings, Murphy, Victor. But that's what's happening right now. Bombino clearly doing his part, and we actually got to hear from him after the game last Saturday. After that game, that 0-0 Sporting game, and reminding us like,
good kids.
No, legitimately just looked at us and looked out the press and was like, guys, I'm 18. Like, he's pretty much like, it's like sometimes I have to remind people like I'm 18. But you know, a good head on that kid, Luca Bombino. But yeah, the beginning of this match. Do you have anything about that, about lineup? Anything else?
No, I think you guys covered it all. It didn't look like it was a heavily attended game. I know they're competing with a Padres game and it's a midweek game, but I mean, first rematch against Colorado, I expected a win.
I don't know. They announced what 22,000.
The official number.
Did they announce 22,000?
The official number, and I'm looking at it right now. Officially, here with your referees Lorenzo Hernandez, Felicia Mariscal, Stephen McNagel, Timothy Ford. Weather sunny, 67 degrees, and the attendance 22,361.
That's the biggest. That's insulting.
So they get to announce that because that's ballpark on how many season tickets they've sold as well. So
officially,
every game they're going to be announcing over 20K.
Attendance in that stadium was 22,361. We have seen what 22,000 plus, give or take 23,000 looks like. I'm hard pressed to believe that was anywhere near that, and I would guess a little bit closer to 18,000. With that said, it wasn't a bad showing. People were there. I will give credit to Frontera San Diego because they came out and they were very well represented, and through the game you can almost tell, at least for Frontera San Diego, that it was a midweek game, because these are working class people for the most part. These are a lot of working class individuals that pay their hard-earned money, that give their time to go and support a team, and they have to pay money out of their own pocket. And on a weekday, well, guess where the money comes from? The jobs that they have to work, and they go after and still use that as a outlet for them, and they showed out. So shout out to Frontera San Diego. But not a bad showing considering it was a giveaway day also at the Padres. All things considered, it wasn't 22,000. Good 18,000 plus. It wasn't 22,000.
Yeah, I mean it sounded good, but
it sounded good. It sounded good, and it was fantastic. It was fine. Like, it was a-okay. Just not that. I don't like being duped or just que me vean la cara or trying to verme la cara.
And I mean, again, that's how many tickets they sold,
and that's why I like how the San Diego
say that.
That's how I like San Diego Soccers do it. San Diego Soccers always announce butts and seats, even if it's a little. Even if it's a little, they announce butts and seats. More sports teams to do that, but that's just across the board in sports. And it's not San Diego FC, it's not Snapdragon. It's just across sports. That's just the reality of it.
So look at the Marlins attendance numbers; they're insane.
Thousands. You can't for every San Diego Internacional UPSL game that we do at Mission Bay High School. At some point, I'll throw in, we are at a capacity crowd. There's a waiting line of people outside waiting to get tickets.
Because there is.
And I mean, it's incredible what they have over there. But all right, back to San Diego FC. The action started, and they came out and really wanted to respond to what Colorado did to them up in altitude. And you can tell there's a difference. And this San Diego FC seemed very different. You see here a good stop by Stefan, just difficult because of the conditions of the field. San Diego FC, because of the right to dream play style, likes to play fast, and you see those patches on the field. That is, moisture. The sprinklers are on. They were just on. So the beginning of the game, the ball is very, very, very slick and slippery. So that's a really good stop there by Stefan. And Stefan was going to be somebody who I was looking at to see what his contribution was going to be to this match, because he's a really good keeper in really good form.
Yeah, 100%. And I mean, he definitely showed out last time San Diego FC played against them. So this is something that they talked about probably and said, all right, we definitely had to shoot a lot more against Colorado, something we didn't do last time we played them. And boy, did they deliver that. 28 shots, 9 on target this game.
And right out the gate, like San Diego FC just kept attacking. There was a chance right here they just saw where there was a collision with Chucky Lozano. And look, I'll give it to Chucky. Like, he's putting his body on the line for this team. He's going into those 50-50s. He's putting his,
he's always played.
He's caution to the wind, getting himself a little touched, a little hurt. But that's just part of the game. For him, he gives it your all. So that's what you love to see.
There's a reason why he's always getting injured. Is because he gives 110% into the plays. Like we saw it last weekend too, and we'll talk about it. The head injury, but he will die on that field if he has to. Like, that's the type of player. That's the type of soccer person that he is, and he's willing to do it. Like, he'll get a cut and cut his head open if it means winning the ball. And I mean, that's why you paid $12 million for.
And this is one of Godoy's better offensive games, where he just kept trying. Here after that collision, Godoy having 2 chances, he's still going for it with one to the left, one with the right. And then a couple of minutes later, one of my favorite plays so far for San Diego FC that unfortunately doesn't end up in a goal. You have it right here. Good, just dragging everybody into the middle. Chucky Lozano, a little bit of a setup in the air, and then Godoy just measuring it, just wants it. And we've seen him do that a couple of times this season. And I don't know, man, like this, everything that I've heard from Godoy and how he's a veteran, he's this, he's that. He's found the fountain of youth, but this dude seems to be in his prime in a lot of these games. Maybe not the Kansas City game, but he is leading by example.
Yeah, Abe, what do you like about Godoy right now?
I think he just looks comfortable out there, and then when you have a player like Jeppe Verskov behind you, I think there's a lot of confidence in your teammate to be like, okay, Godoy usually can play back and be defensive, but knowing that Jeppe's behind him, he's able to go up and take these chances, take these shots, and then your forwards are drawing all the attention, and he has like such a strong shot that he's been like getting so many of these chances. I think he's not a player that usually scores goals. If you look at his like general stats over the course of his career, he only has like a couple, but he's going to score a couple more, I think, with San Diego FC if he keeps performing like this and if the attention keeps going towards all the forwards.
This is a good point here by Chris in the comments. The Chucky run across the top of the box seems hard solved for they're throwing 3 defenders at him as he cuts into the box. And it's just one of my favorite things to say. Like, it's just the stubbornnness of an attacker, right? Like, you're trying to go through matter. You're trying to go through legs and force your way through the defenders. You're never going to do that. And if you do, it's 1 out of 12 times, 20 times. But the thing about this is that, yes, you were going to get that regardless. But you don't have Marcus and Varsson to be that person who also draws maybe 1 defender away. Because Chucky getting defended by 3 is much different than him getting defended by 2. He can get past 2 much easier than he can get past 3, because it's a triangle where you just kind of lock him down from each angle. He can't turn back. He can't move forward. He can't pivot because there's somebody there. If it's 2 people, at least he has 2 parallel sides to kind of have an out with, or just have a little bit of breathing room. But Marcus and Varston isn't there to have that support for him. So not saying Dreher's doing a bad job. It's just not his natural position to be able to do that. But that's exactly what you see on the other side with Alex Mighton too. That's exactly Alex Mighton's style. He gets the ball, runs forward, gets the ball, runs forward, cuts inside, but into the defender. And for the most part, it works. And you see it almost work in this play that Godoy also handles or tries to get out the end of it too. Godoy starts it right over here, opens it up to Mighton, cuts in, tries to shoot in between 3. Good job taking the shot. That's good. You're getting that rebound, opening up that space. Luca gets it back, sets up Godoy, and then Godoy once again a little churrito shot, but knocking on that door. 30 minutes into it, Colorado has done nothing at this point. They've done nothing. They are nowhere to be seen. 3 minutes later, corner, and then you have Chris McVeigh, who is quietly becoming one of the, if not, I would say one of the most important players for San Diego FC in their history.
Yeah, I think. Go ahead, Abe.
Yeah, definitely when it comes to set pieces, he has to be involved just with being a big body and able to getting ahead on that. But Yepes Verskov on the front post with the amazing flick. Like I think it was the Austin game where there were
Yeah.
just a million corner kicks and you could tell Yepes Verskov just kept getting the ball. And I think that's just he just has so much class that they trust him. Those corner kicks are always going to be coming in his general direction so he can kind of send it back. But yeah, he's drawing all the attention forward. McVay wide open, just tapping it in. It's just such a great flick too. It's so hard to do.
And he's done that. He did it against Kansas City. He's scored from this position. He's hit the crossbar. He's hit the woodwork. He's got it on target. Like this is a definite weapon that San Diego FC has with Yepes Verskov.
Yeah. So when you have a player that knows how to flick the ball like that, you're going to use it to your advantage. I mean, we've seen so many great players throughout history being able to do that, right? I mean, for Chivas fans, if you know Masa Rodriguez, Tony, like he used to do that all the time for Chivas. Super tall center back that knew how to flick the ball and eventually scored a goal like that in that final in 2006 against Toluca, and we all remember it very well. But yeah, so Yep is very good at doing that. He's bound to score a goal like that. And I mean, it's something that you can tell they've been practicing, and we always do a good job in this podcast to highlight when teams are doing a great job.
Yeah.
And they've been practicing that, and they're doing such a great job at finishing in those set pieces.
It's the little details. It really is the little details. You see it be spoken of with Jonas Eideval and just like kind of inside knowledge of what they're doing in training. When he came in, he focused on the things like throw-ins. Like you'd never really think of throw-ins in practice and training, but those can be choreographed. Those can be planned. That's something that a lot of teams overlook. And so with this, right, like a simple run, stick to the basics, a simple run to the near post, get the ball there, create some chaos inside the box, or just let it go through. You still create some chaos and something's bound to happen. So, yeah, there's a lot to discuss there. Just before that one, the tech ball setup, that's exactly what that was. It's that little foot tennis.
Up with that all the time.
You see it at training. They have it, and it's a great resource to have. It's a 3D. I love it when you just stop and think. Wait, where do we put Abe?
Oh, Abe, he leave?
All right.
All right, Abe, you'll join back.
It's all good. But one of my favorite things sometimes is that you forget.
Where do we put Abe? Yeah,
we forget that soccer's a 3D game. Right. So like with the tech ball setup, with that setup and the volley in the air, like it's incredible what is possible through this match. So it's really cool to see that. About this conversation, is CJ Dos Santos a top 5 goalie in the league? Esteban Toscano, good stats here, definitely in the conversation. 6 clean sheets, 74.2 save percentage average. It's a really good save. I know that going into the game against Sporting, he was tied for most clean sheets, for second place for most clean sheets in the MLS across the league. So
yeah,
100%. I agree.
8 teams with 6 clean sheets right now. I'm not too sure if they're all with the same goalkeeper. I know San Diego FC is. It's in the conversation. I think I wouldn't put him top 5. You also have to respect some of the names that are in the league. But it's not a crazy thing to throw out there. Like, he's playing good. Nobody expected CJ Dos Santos to be this good for San Diego FC. And he's told us at training, Tony, he's constantly having to prove people wrong, and he uses that as fuel. And when a goalkeeper has that as motivation and fuel, he's going to do some dangerous things.
Just don't give a player a reason to outplay you. Don't give a player a reason to don't be the reason a player does well. Essentially, like don't motivate people more than you need to, unless that's your player. So, or your teammate. So just resort to what you want. But I like that CJ Dos Santos is really coming onto his own and shutting mouths up, in the long run. So I would have to agree. He is top 5 right now. Hard for me to look elsewhere and say, yeah, there's 5 other goalkeepers that are better than him at this moment.
I think we might be down right now, Tony.
Yeah,
I think so. Yeah.
And we keep going.
We keep going.
We keep it going.
But yeah, CJ Dos Santos definitely being a very good goalkeeper this season and proving a lot of people wrong for sure. So I'm entering the studio again, but I think we video frozen, audio good. They still hear us. but video's
Cool.
frozen. So, haha.
All good. We make it work. We make it happen. You don't want to see our ugly mugs anyway. All right. Yeah, no, Abe is just like in there somewhere.
Were you able to
what
send
is
Abe the link?
point? I did through socials. I love seeing McVay and McNair both up in those set pieces. Hell, if one of them straight up did an attacker dribble into a long shot on Saturday, and I was amped. No, McVay loves to do those runs, and I actually asked him after this match, like he gets the freedom to do those things. And so he gets the freedom to go and make those deep runs through the middle. But yeah, I just have a still of Tony in his iconic 04 set.
We got motion right now.
We got
Yeah,
motion.
we're just blurry.
We
It's
got motion in the ocean. Motion
again.
in the ocean.
Cox Internet's changing plans on Tony.
I need that optic fiber for sure.
Yeah.
Have you checked online on like the YouTube page? I mean, I would have started there.
Yeah, we're on there, but it's all blurry. So, but yeah, I mean, we can continue talking about.
Yeah,
the
no,
game.
100%. Let's continue talking about the game. So, have San Diego FC 1-0 up. They are continuing and insisting. A mistake by Zach Steffen giving up the ball, and this is, this I think it can be potentially a gaffe. This play right here, Alex Mighton has the entire goal to himself, and is unable to put it away. Put it right there. Let's see. Yeah. So Alex Mighton had the entire goal to himself, but unable to put it away. Here in the 40th minute, by por ahí, San Diego FC gets a little bit sloppy in transition. And then 43rd minute was when they try against CJ Dos Santos.
No se ve el video.
Yeah, it's fine.
I'm gonna throw Abe in here.
Yeah, Abe, you're gonna anchor this.
What's up, Abe?
Sounds good. You guys hear me?
Yeah, we're good.
Yeah,
Can you
welcome
see?
back.
There we go.
Can you see us?
Yeah, we don't need to be a video show. We're also an audio show. We have our roots in radio. Come on, we can focus on just our voices if you'd like.
100%. Yeah, but I mean, again, we're talking about CJ Dos Santos. Is he top 5 in the league right now? I mean, he does this crazy save. But again, it's those mistakes that you get playing the right to dream ball, right? Sometimes you're going to give away the ball, and it's going to put your goalkeeper in a very difficult situation. Luckily, CJ Dos Santos proving to be a very good goalkeeper and makes saves like this. But yeah, San Diego FC goes into halftime with a 1-0 lead against Colorado. It's a good position to be in. I don't know how everyone felt being at halftime in this.
Yeah, I think you guys cut out, but it's definitely a very good position to be in, especially with the way Colorado was playing. It just felt like they really had no chances. Maybe they would have gotten lucky on like one counterattack, but there was like really nothing there for Colorado. And they're a team that's kind of carried by their goalkeeper, which you don't see a lot of. So CJ Dos Santos might be top 5, but he gets a lot of help from his defense and the midfield from limiting any major chances, whereas you have a team like Colorado, he had 26 shots against them. And if anything, Zach Steffen's lucky. I think XG ended up being around like 4 for this game. So like this is a really good like goalkeeper. I think generally America creates good goalkeepers, right?
Yes,
Would you
100%.
guys agree?
That's
Yeah.
one of their
And
strong suits.
CJ Dos Santos.
Yeah.
CJ Dos Santos, Zach Steffen, clear examples of that. Zach Steffen, honestly, probably going to see him in the Gold Cup. We should see him in the Gold Cup. And CJ Dos Santos could have that in his future. And also something I asked CJ Dos Santos about, like, do you like playing 3 games in a week? Because I think it's interesting. Like, a lot of these other players are getting tired. Are you going to be tired as a goalkeeper? Are you going to be, like, exhausted? He was kind of like, I live for this. He wants to be in. He said he imagined it like it's the Champions League. That he wants to be in these like Champions League games where you're going to be playing midweeks, two games on the weekend, and then a midweek game. So I think CJ Dos Santos has his eyes on Europe in the future. Honestly, when you hear things like that, where players talking about like, "Oh, it's like Champions League." Like, do you guys see that in his future?
No,
I can possibly see a call up.
I can see him being successful in MLS. I'm not sure entirely how you know what?
You're
I will put
out. You're just gonna shut out.
I will
Europe?
put my foot in my mouth actually right now in this moment, only because FC Northland. If a player ever goes to FC Northland from San Diego FC and plays against an FC Copenhagen, and they see some talent there's potential for that to happen. With CJ Dos Santos, I'm not sure that's a trajectory, but it's still a network that the Right to Dream network itself has. So maybe I think he has a chance. I can definitely see that.
I mean, you also got to remember, right? You have Duran Ferry, also part of this team. He's on loan with FC Northland, but he was your first signing ever. Whether it was just a marketing move because he was in San Diego Loyal, he's a local kid, whatever it is, he's also a very good goalkeeper. So it's going to be interesting next season or in 2 years if CJ's still playing at a good level, and then you bring in this kid that's from San Diego who has Europe experience in Europe now, at a young age still, but with a little bit more experience now. It's going to be interesting what the competition looks like.
No, I agree. 4 MLS goalkeepers on the U.S. preliminary roster for Gold Cup. Stefan is one of them.
Rightfully so. He's having a great season so far. But yeah, I mean, you see this save as well coming into the second half. And it almost felt like Colorado had some momentum going to be able to get a goal in as well.
Yeah, I mean, San Diego FC just can't be falling asleep like that. Like in general, that's a scream. I didn't get my binoculars and look over to Mikey Vada to see how upset he was, but you just can't have these moments where the ball bounces right dead smack in the middle of the area, like in such a way, like just unacceptable, inexcusable. In defense, good offensive play, I'll give you that. Good throw-in, but yeah, not ideal by any means. But yeah, San Diego FC was being pressed in the second half a little bit, but
and then moments
not too
after
much.
that play, there's the second goal for San Diego FC from Anders Dreyer, which was, by the way, a phenomenal goal. Tony, you kind of shouted it out a little bit before the episode started as also possibly a goal of the week.
Forward as well, because they've had so much the ball. Incisive passes like that. Holding right into space on his Dreyer. Off the post. Second try.
I love a goal when you assist your own goal. Like, does anyone know if he actually gets an assist on that?
I mean, MLS rules are weird. He should get an assist.
Because he got an assist.
Maybe the post should get an assist.
They count a pass to assist as an assist as well in MLS.
Yes, and I mean that was a great look by Jeppe Sverskov, and the art of soccer. And what I really appreciate about this goal is that the entire beginning of the second half, they really started to get Chucky fired up. Even the first half, Chucky was firing up, and it really felt like Chucky was going to have a great night, and they were going to keep attacking through the left. There's been times where San Diego FC has been forceful and been stubborn and keep going to the left, to the left, to the left. And what I like about this play is that they were setting up to really put this together. Is let's keep going through the left. The natural pass at this point would have been to go with Mighton, who's running down the middle right there. But you have it set up where it's perfect because everybody's overloaded over on the left. People stopped paying attention to Dreyer.
Yeah, well, I mean, Mikey Vadas has talked about it before like that, right? That they've tried to focus a little bit on Chucky during the game to make that space for Anders Dreyer on the left. So I feel like it's been, on the right. So I feel like it's been working out, and this is where Anders Dreyer needs to take advantage, and finally is, right? Again, a dominant performance from your DP players in this game, and it shows on the scoreline.
It was a good night for them. Anders Dreyer getting himself on the score sheet once again. He was, people were asking, hey, we're more production, but I think overall in the scope of the season so far, you have to be happy with what Dreyer's been able to put on the score sheet and on his stat line for sure. 2 goals. San Diego FC pretty much liquidate this match. There wasn't much after.
I mean, you give up the penalty with the handball inside the box, and did you guys? I know everyone, the handball rule is weird. It seemed like the clearest handball in the world to me, right?
Yeah. I mean,
yeah.
I'm the worst person to ask because for me, if it touches the hand, it's a handball.
Yeah.
And that's just I don't care how, even if it's stuck to the body, like if it hits the hand, I could see a world where referee calls for a handball, even if it's incorrect. But San Diego FC kept having transitions. Kansas City was just everywhere. A great stop here by Stefan. I think got a finger on that one. Luca La Torre. I think people have been asking a little bit more from Luca. What do you guys think?
Again, I think his transitional game is excellent. I think if he's not on the game, you can tell when he's not on the game.
Mhm.
That's how good on the ball he is. He's not a player to reflect the stat line, and I don't think he ever was. And you need those type of players in your team. So I think he's a very, very important player to that midfielder. That even though he's not scoring, even though he's not assisting, he's still very influential on that midfield.
Yeah,
And those are the type. So those are sometimes the best players that you have. Like you can ask probably anyone in San Diego FC is like, so how good is Luca? And they're gonna be like, he's probably one of the best players in this team. Let's not forget he's here on loan from Celta Vigo.
yeah,
Like,
very
at
much.
the end of the season, that's a stance. He's going back to playing
Mhm.
pro soccer in Spain. So
Yeah, I think it's a purchase option on both sides, so he has to agree, and then they would have to agree. But I think he is showing out at a level where it's like maybe it's not on the score sheet, but if you have a smart team in Europe or back in Celta Vigo that are going to be like, hey, we want him back, especially if he's performing at this level, where he's probably a little bit more fit than he has been in his past. So it's Luca Del Torre is playing at a really good level right now, I think.
So then the handball indeed happens as Abe called.
that is
Yeah, clearly it's a handball.
No está ni pegada.
Hands.
It's out like that. Like
Everybody just knows. Nobody argues, really. Boom,
Yeah.
right there. Mihailovic is going to go ahead and step up for this penalty, and what we've seen happens. CJ Dos Santos saving the penalty. Not the worst penalty, not the best, for sure. Wasn't it was a good read by CJ. You know, he's goalkeepers are always on the losing side of things when it comes to penalties. So the fact that he stops it at any point for as easy it might been, your odds are so bad, even on the rebound. But very well done there by San Diego FC to also clear that right after CJ Dos Santos fired up. He knows what big moment that is. It could have meant Kansas City comes back into the game, but that's not the case. And San Diego FC pretty much cruises down into a 2-0 victory after this matchup.
Yeah, and I mean, you guys went to the press conference after this. Tony, you showed clips of the press conference on your post-match show. So if you haven't, after SDFC home games, check out Tony's post-match show. Quick 30, 40 minutes of a quick recap of the game and then showing clips from the post-match as well, press conference. But yeah, you guys had Anders Dreyer. You guys had Mikey Vadas on here. How was it overall?
Yeah, I mean, it's a perfect game in terms of San Diego FC really keeping a clean sheet, being attacking, holding possession, dominating, playing and getting back to a team that had already beat them pretty handedly over in Colorado. So I think Mikey was pretty happy, and the players were pretty happy about that. But also knowing that they have to pack everything up and come back 2 days after, 3 days after, essentially, for a match, you can clearly see that it was wearing on them. Like it was a long week for sure. Abe?
Do you think they pack everything up? I feel like they should leave all the signs there. It's like
so insider information, yes, everything does get left where it's at. It was great seeing everybody who works at San Diego FC just have that like sigh of relief of like, oh, we don't have to come into setup today or on Saturday because we can just leave everything here. There's nothing Thursday, Friday, so everything just stays in place. So
yeah, I think I definitely expected this team to win on this Wednesday game, but that Saturday game, you could tell there was going to be some fatigue there, and I think you could definitely see that on the players by Saturday.
All right, so let's go ahead and just talk about it. Let's get right.
I called it a trap game, and then I feel like there was a little bit of contention between Mikey Varas and my question. Did you feel that while we were at training on Thursday?
A little bit of I think he was. Well, first of all, I interrupted the English flow with a Spanish question because I thought we were done. I'm sorry about that.
No, it's okay. I like hopping back and forth.
I can play that if you want.
Yeah, you can. I think because it sets the scene for I think what they expected for this Saturday match. Because when you're playing the 13th place team, I think most people wouldn't expect a scoreless draw.
See if I can.
And as far as Brandon's questions is concerned, Chiva, do you want to pull that up? I think.
Yeah, go for it.
Yeah.
Didn't I get both predictions right over the
Sure
weekend?
did, Abe. You sure did.
I got I didn't get the exact scores, but I get the.
No, you got the prediction right.
Oh, hey.
Yeah. Currently, Abe is leading with 8 points. Tony is in second with 5, and I have 3 points. Right now, I don't even need to catch up to Abe. I just need to catch up to Tony. 2 points, not that bad. I just got to make sure I get a perfect score prediction, which is doable for this next game against LA Galaxy. As Tony's having a hard time pinpointing Abe's questions. This is the worst I've seen you.
Honestly, I don't know when was this, Abe?
It was towards the end of his press thing. I can find it, and then we can talk about this game.
Does the opposing team have a press conference too, Jens? Ever get a chance?
So actually, MLS rules actually just changed. I was brought up that we can ask to go into the locker rooms, and that also includes the opposing teams.
We can go into the locker rooms?
Correct.
For home teams?
You know who told me?
Who?
Your pal Abe with the San Francisco hat.
Oh,
Scott French.
He
was there.
Scott
French was there. Oh, I missed
sir.
Scott
He'll be
French.
there. He'll be there on Saturday as well. He said.
He missed you actually.
Oh,
He's like, where's Abe?
Where's Abraham?
I was like,
Scott is like the future version of me I think. He's a very cool guy.
We told him he got fired. Some
we had to let him go.
Yeah, he's
very. He doubled down on this Kanye.
No, I had a very interesting conversation with him about LA Galaxy not being terrible this season.
I heard that conversation. He was actually defending LA Galaxy very, very strongly about how not bad they are.
Tranquilo,
how not, and he was pushing, back.
I was just being respectful. I was like, hey, me vale más.
Tranquilo, viejo.
Pero bueno, no hay pedo. Here's Mikey Varas on Friday.
Well, let's get him out of Spanish.
When things are bad.
Oh, there we go. Back in English.
Man.
We have it in English and Spanish, guys. So here's head coach Mikey Varas. Here is Abraham Cepeda asking a question to head coach Mikey Varas previous to the Kansas City game on Saturday.
Si hacemos eso, siempre tenemos mejor probabilidad de ganar.
The team at the bottom of the table, sometimes there's a worry from fans, maybe that you're not putting forth the best effort, maybe like trap game. But what do you say to your team to keep them motivated for a game like that?
Listen, if you want to be successful in life, you cannot change based on the external situation that you're facing. So when things are bad, and this idea of like, okay, now I got to work harder. When things are good, now I can relax. It's not going to help you sustain high-level success at the elite level. So we talk about being consistent, being persistent, who we are, in the good and in the bad, making sure that we're working really hard, and that one of our values is to embrace competition. Every time we step on the field, we have the tremendous honor, but also responsibility to give everything we have, because not everybody gets to do what we do.
Plus, I would think, too, a team like that, they're 5 out of the playoff spot, and they're probably looking going, wow, what a feather in the cap it would be. Second in the Western Conference.
Yeah,
you guys are sort of the
MLS is a tricky league. 3 wins in a row, and you can flip your position in the standings. 3 losses in a row, and you can drop quickly. So if you take your eye off of the prize at any moment, this league will give you a slap in the head and wake you up pretty quick. And then,
Do you think they got a slap in the head on Saturday?
Sure did, because now we get to talk about the game on Saturday against Kansas City without their best player, by the way. Jovic out last minute because he was going to have a kid. Well, he had a kid. So he missed this game due to that. And then we had Santiago Munoz, Santos youngster,
Legend.
Newcastle
legend
player, starting for Kansas City. And this was the starting lineup again for San Diego FC. Everything the same except for Verhoeven starting at the right back position, getting his first start as a San Diego FC player, who didn't have a bad game, to be honest.
No, yeah, he seemed a little shaky at in some moments, but like he put it together, and that's what we've seen from the youngsters so far. Is there's moments of they're young, like they're gonna have these moments. They are playing against professionals who are veterans, who know this league, and give it to the kids to take a moment to adjust. But they did very well. So other than that, it's literally just run it back, and then we'll it's successful. Fix what's broken here at home. And yeah, Wheelie is not featured here. He has been a liability moving forward with the ball. Too much space behind him, and he's quick, but he's not that quick to.
He's reckless.
Come back with it, and he is a little reckless. And so I think Owen Verhoeven just is a little bit more conservative because he knows that he's getting an opportunity to be seen.
Not even on the bench in this game, which is wild.
Yeah, it's pretty weird, but yeah. So that's essentially the lineup that we have for San Diego FC. The same one, Jovic not on it for Kansas City.
And right now you can end the highlights because that's what the game was. Snooze fest, not the best game. No, I'm just kidding.
All right, thank you.
Something to highlight that I noticed, right? It's overall San Diego, but specifically Aníbal Godoy didn't have the best game in this one.
Mm-hmm.
He looked tired. His passes weren't all the way there, whether it's because of the field conditions or it's just that he's literally playing on dead legs. Like his passes were off. He wasn't able to be the same player that he's been all season. He had a couple fouls. He got an early yellow card as well. Some shouts about the refereeing for this match. I don't think so. To be honest. Look, I think the referee was pretty fair overall.
I was telling you what was going to happen with the referee before it happened. Like there were some calls that, and this is how soccer is. Like and that's how some referees are. Like they'll take it personal, and it doesn't mean that they're not necessarily professional. They're doing their job. They see a foul, they call a foul. Whether they turn a blind eye sometimes or just look harder because you give them a reason, because San Diego FC is a bit of a vocal team whenever it comes to getting calls in favor or against.
Yeah.
They will argue and they will put a strong challenge in and then look at you like, what are you doing? That's not a yellow card. But also
especially Yepe.
Especially Yepe, Godoy gets in there sometimes. Chucky, actually, surprisingly, a little bit fiery as well. A bit of a firecracker when it comes to it. But it did, and I agree with Espadon. It wasn't just Godoy. Everybody just kind of looked like they were on heavy legs. Yeah. However, I will give you, and I will call, and I'll raise the fact that you did have 3 games in 7 days. Kansas City had 3 games in 7 days away.
Why not rotate the squad a little bit? And again, this is maybe me nitpicking Mikey Vara's decision. Again, he's still a young coach, and you got to best your best 11. But I mean, if your players are tired, why not switch it around? Why not start Oni Balakari in the midfield for this game? Why not throw in a Tomas Angel on the wing or up top? Why not start Milan Iloski for this game?
Tomas Angel is giving you a reason why he should not play every time he's stepped on the field as of recently. Every single time, he's had opportunities to control a simple ball down the sideline and just goes off his foot. It's unfortunate.
But you have other options that you can play. I mean, like I said, Iloski, Balakari, even rotating 2 or 3 players. Like you already took out Willy Comado for this game. Why not give those players also a chance to start? I mean, you've had only Balakari start for the most part most of the season. Why not give him the start in this game and just give Godoy some rest and then maybe bring him in the 70th minute and then give 20 minutes of the best thing that Godoy can give you for those 20 minutes after being on very tired legs. So I don't know. I mean, the defense played great. I mean, Kansas City is not a team that's going to attack a lot, and that showed with the stats. Like this was a team that came to this game to tie, to get a point on the road, and that was enough for them. And why not? Like you steal a point against San Diego FC on the road. Like at this point in the season, this is a good thing.
Yeah, and look, to the point, yeah, we do know what a Pilcher McVay center back pairing does look like. But again, like then you find out, right? Is it worth having a not fit team and potentially risk an injury? To answer your question, real swinging Fryer about Jesper Lofelson, he has been training with the first team. So usually, what ends up happening with a player that's hurt is that you'll see them playing on the side or training on the side one on one away from the team. Lofelson has been with the team.
There's a certain number of players you can have on the bench, and coaches put out the roster for the team for like the players that are going to be available, and he's not making the cut right now. And it's not because he's hurt; it's just because there's better options. Verhoeven's an option now. Comado's an option, so it doesn't make sense to put 3 right backs in your or 2 right backs even on the bench.
Yeah.
So at this point, Mikey has to decide, okay, who's going to make the roster for this game.
If I had to pick gems through this game, I think this is my favorite play of the game. Chris McVay getting the ball in his own half and then just driving down the middle. And we've seen him do this. He did this against Colorado and just takes a shot and you know, he's getting it done, man. And people should be giving McVay a little bit more credit.
It's
on
him
the
and
squad.
Sigue Dos Santos, the only 2 players in this club that's played every single minute so far this season.
Yeah. So shout out McVay, who
and this was a player that wasn't considered to be a starter.
Yeah. He was
brought along.
It was
supposed
just
to be
a
Andres
for
Reyes.
now for Andres Reyes.
By the way, Andres Reyes still very unavailable.
Incredibly unavailable.
I'm telling you, I will talk about this just as a talking point. I think there's something going on with Andres Reyes. Whether it's an injury or something, like how is it you're coming from an injury, you play, you get a red card, you're out, and then you're injured again. I think something's not adding up here with Andres Reyes. And I mean, obviously the club's not going to come out and say like, this is what it is, but I think it's some internal stuff going on. I don't think he's probably injured, to be honest.
If we were in it for the clicks, I could have made a couple calls, but Abe, what are your thoughts on all of this so far?
Yeah, I think you don't really Andres Reyes at this point. It's like, does it even matter because of how well Chris McVay is playing? Like he's just been so good both on defense and then in these like special moments where he's able to bring the ball up or in these set pieces. So like at this point, like even if Andres Reyes is like at his top level, are you gonna take away that spot from Chris McVay with how well this team is going? I don't think so. And then also like from the macro level, I know Mikey Vada's talked about this a lot. I guess it is good for SDFC to be like winning these games or generally not losing these games. I think it's good for them, but seeing how Sporting KC can just sit back and then how other teams have done it too. St. Louis did it to them in the past, where if there's a very clear way to at least draw or provide a lot of problems for SDFC and not really like worry about their offensive threat. So I think that's an issue to have looking forward. Just like, can any team in the league just say like, oh, we're just gonna sit back and see what SDFC does? Like it's possible.
Yeah, that's definitely true. And just to kind of table that, Andres Reyes, little bit of discussion there. He could be leaving this summer. There is going to be for MLS a special window opened for the Club World Cup for those 3
I thought that was
players.
only the 3 teams that could do that.
In between them?
No, like those 3 teams can do whatever they want, but not every other team in the MLS.
Well, that's what I'm saying for Andres Reyes being taken out.
Yeah, but why would LAFC or any of these Club World Cup teams want?
I don't know, man. If Chivas' theory is correct, that something's going on, some dark arts is happening. But if not, then I will say, hey, it's right over here with the Real Swinging Friar. Like, is he a bust so far?
Oh,
so far,
100%. Like, I mean,
you miss a third of the season.
You can't even put him on the bust category. He's just not there. So, I mean, I think that's probably just the worst move San Diego FC has done
in their history.
There you go.
All right. I could see him leaving at the summer. Esteban says, hopefully it's not some Herzog-like activities.
There's a lot of people that don't know who Corey Herzog is. Maybe you should tell. You should tell that story.
That there is
Corey Herzog. the story that I've been asked for almost as much as anything else here in San Diego soccer. What happened with Corey Herzog?
What happened?
If you catch me in person one day, I might tell you. Abe just found out recently, actually. Yeah.
I honestly forgot.
Oh. Well, I guess you're gonna have to see me in person soon. But what even was the conclusion to that? Not a happy one. Not a happy story. Bro, Afi, shout out. Tell us now. Again, you're gonna be in town soon, so I'll let you know. Mutual parting.
Everything's mutual parting. Yeah.
Parts in mutual. Like cries in Spanish, parts in mutual.
Yeah. So I mean, overall, I mean, I wouldn't be surprised if Andres Reyes, like I think someone in the comments said it, like I wouldn't be surprised if he leaves the club this summer. At this point, like why even pay him? Like literally, he's just collecting a check right now. Like it's crazy. But yeah. So moving on with the rest of this game, 0-0.
And then again,
Overall.
this moment could have been it, right? If it's a 0-0 game, one moment like this, the Sporting Kansas City gets, and it's a 1-0 loss at home.
Yeah.
Great shot.
And
And
we almost had the goal of the week there as
Yeah.
well. Like that would have been sick.
it was an incredible attempt on that, opening up the space, and you know, a good effort. You need to push up a little bit there, Wombino. Just you know, you got there a little bit too late. If there's a learning lesson to be had, you know, have the confidence because you have somebody who's coming in and closing the pass over to the left. You can go ahead and close in right there instead of taking the step back.
Yeah, especially because you know this player is a lefty. You know, you don't want to give him the inside. I mean, we see it all the time in Barcelona games right now. Like they keep giving Lamine Yamal the inside, and he's just punishing teams,
Yeah.
right? So I mean, this is something like that. Like you don't want to give the inside to get the curling shot in. You want to push him out to the outside. So I mean, again, 18 years old.
Yeah,
He's
and
learning.
And look, this would have happened against the best left back in the world, anyways. Like, but like these are the moments that like tend to happen. Future San Diego City SC USL2 legend Andres Reyes. Hey,
Find out next week. We're going to be
Find out
having
next week.
head
But,
of City SC San Diego here to talk a little bit about that.
did it bother you? Seated didn't die for that? No.
Nothing to do.
There's sometimes, and this is the reality of the goalkeeping position.
He stopped it with his eyes.
It's you're frozen, and I don't know how to describe that freeze, because for me, I like to express it in a way where, like, if I know the shot is going to be in and I can't go and I freeze, I'd rather just look at you in your eye and say, yeah, like I'll point at like, yep, good job. Like, yep, that's good. Like there's nothing for me to do. But to do that, sometimes goalkeepers are like, if I don't dive, I'm going to get yelled at in training for not trying.
No,
But
I mean,
then
there's
you
nothing
end up
to
making
do.
the shot and the goal look even more pretty. So, but it's sometimes people are
like Osvaldo Sanchez in
So-
2006. Yeah.
That struck a nerve.
Yeah, it did. It hurt too. Like tu leyenda.
yeah. Sometimes you just got to clap it up. Yeah. No, like, yeah, there's nothing for me to do. And
You guys are not real goalkeepers. I mean, you asked a real goalkeeper and they would have said, yeah, I would have blocked that
with what?
with his eyes.
Well,
You
he
say
did.
that all the time. Yeah,
he did. He
Look at
blocked
that.
it with his eyes.
He followed through with it with his eyes and said, hit the post, hit the post, hit the post.
Yeah. Look, it's over here, right there,
Hit the post, hit the post, hit the post. Like he didn't dive because he knew that it was gonna hit the post.
just right there. Like you with the mouse. Like you could see the mouse is that vision. The Cyclops just gravity pulling that way.
I love the banter. Esteban knows a lot about this.
Wow. You gonna let him take that? It's all good.
Yeah, he did. Yeah.
Hey, check out Baller Crew.
Check it out.
On socials and on YouTube. Great stuff on there. But ultimately, like nothing else kind of happened.
So at the end of the game, Yepe went at it with the referee.
Yeah.
Pretty much like talk a little bit about like some of the calls that happened or some of the non-calls. And we did ask post-match, like, hey, what was all that about? And Mikey let us know that this was pretty much the team kind of arguing about the time. There was only 3 minutes given of extra time, aggregate time, after 10 substitutions were made. Some players were injured. It did seem like it was a little bit of time. But I mean, at the end of the day, like you had 90 minutes to score.
I was gonna say the same exact thing. Like you're spending 90 minutes here complaining about, oh, if we had 2 extra minutes. Like, come on, you had this whole game. You're a team that's much higher in the standings, but games like this happen. And if Kansas City's a team that knows that they can just sit in the low block and be comfortable, then there's going to be tough decisions like this, especially on a rainy night in San Diego. It's tough. Am I frozen? Are you guys frozen? Interesting. Let us know in the chat if Tony and Chiva are still here, if it's just me. Could be a fun day of me just talking wave by myself, but yeah. Forecasting Puma with a good goal, but can he do it on a rainy night at Snapdragon Stadium? You had to be worried about these rainy nights at Snapdragon. Last time it was truly rainy was that Gold Cup match last year for the women's game. But yeah, now San Diego FC have their next match up against. Let me pull this up here. I was actually looking up some Medica stats because they're going to be playing in the. Oh, what? Oh, sorry, you guys are back. I was looking up Medica stats because they're going to.
That's what you do with the time.
It's a fight. I was while I was away. While you guys were taking over, I was just looking at that because they're going to be facing against America soon. But anyways, they're going to be facing LA Galaxy at 1:45 p.m. So it's going to be a sunny day. It's going to be hot too this week. So be careful, guys. Put your sunscreen on. It's going to be hot. 1:45 game against LA Galaxy, who are coming off a bit of a high. They just signed their coach to an extension amidst one of their really bad stretches, which is kind of interesting.
Terrible.
But it's a terrible stretch, but they have belief in Greg Vanney for whatever reason, which is, I think, fair and kind of cool sometimes to see from a organization to just believe in their coach. But at the same time, like, you're really going to give him an extension now? Like, that's kind of crazy. Maybe they're buying cheap, but it's crazy. But anyways, LA Galaxy versus SDFC this Saturday, 1:45 p.m., coming off of a draw in El Tráfico. What do you guys think? You guys got predictions for this?
I got 4-2 San Diego win against LA Galaxy.
All right, that was quick, right out the gun. Look at this lineup. I just want to put it up real quick. This was the lineup for the first ever San Diego FC game in Los Angeles. As you can tell, Negri not featured so much. Loffelson nowhere to be found. Eminem, the center back pairing of Eminem, that's there. The McWall, CJ, the Eternals. Yes.
Okay. I was listening to the radio broadcast, by the way. Adrian Garcia Marquez is freaking awesome. It's so cool to have a local broadcast for these games. He calls them the McSmash Brothers, which I really like.
Hell yeah.
Did you catch the pregame with Tony Sanchez?
I did not. No.
Thanks.
Thanks, dude. Making the pregame show.
Yeah, that was invited over by Adrian Garcia Marquez and Darren to join them on San Diego Sports 760 for the pregame show. It was interesting. It was fun. It was cool. Yeah, I mean, so, it was a fun time.
Yeah,
like
predictions from you guys. What do we got? Abe's currently the GOAT at making predictions for San Diego FC right now. And wait,
are you really going 4-2?
I'm going 4-2.
That seems like a big number, but I'll say 2-1.
Galaxy wins?
No, 2-1 San Diego FC win. Galaxy, they have a good draw against LAFC, but they're still not.
LAFC is also not the hottest team in MLS either. So, yeah, I mean, it's going to be a midday game. It's going to be 68 degrees, partly cloudy. It's not going to be hot. They have a whole week of rest.
19-0. Brandon.
What do you got, Tony?
2 touchdowns, a field goal, and a safety.
No, it's 2 touchdowns with 2-point conversions on each touchdown and a field goal.
There's a lot of good predictions here in the chat today. So we go from 2-2, 4-0, 4-2. You said Chiba, 3-0 by Cisco. 1-1 by Jeff. 19-0. All right. 2-0 to the good guys. Shout out to Jeremy for wearing the San Diego Punto football shirt at Snapdragon Stadium representing. 3-2 LA. All right. Give me some chaos, says 619 Sports Soccer. I'm going to go ahead and say it is a 3-1 San Diego FC win.
Not a bad shout either. All right, let's see. So far, Abe's currently in the lead. As of now, I'm walking to Snapdragon at the end of the season, but it's still a long season to go. So, anything else on UFC, gentlemen?
Maybe Tony should join you after what I heard about what happened in the press box in this last game. Maybe Tony should be the one.
I don't know what Abe.
You've also been muted.
Sorry.
I don't know what you're talking about, Abe.
This is a good question by Jeff.
Is Landon Donovan coming in his Galaxy jersey or bringing out the Chrome ball? He's going to bring out the Chrome ball.
Just throw it on the floor.
Start juggling it.
With his loyal jersey?
With his loyal jersey.
Oh.
Not that he ever had a jersey for loyal,
just
but
a scarf.
He still wears all the loyal stuff on his podcast, which I think is
does it really? Sorry, I haven't had a chance. Haven't had the pleasure.
Haven't gotten that invite.
Yeah. Maybe that's how he feels. Maybe that's how he feels
You
too.
should hit him up. He probably misses you. Hey Tones. Hey Tony.
Hey Tone.
Hey Tone. Oh, good times. Rough times for Wave.
Landon is gonna kick the Chrome ball and score. How about LAFC player Aaron Long in the chat asking for Bombino back to LAFC? Yeah, he was in here. 100%.
Yeah, he was.
They want him. They want him because he's good. He's absolutely good. Like he's again a great piece of work by the front office, by Tyler Heaps. I think it's time to once again revisit giving props to Tyler Heaps for building the squad that he's building up. These youngsters that are coming in, they've been stepping up. They have been stepping up, and you really have who's who in a lot of different ways. Let's get some Saidi sometime. Poor Manu Dua. People keep asking. He's injured, but people keep asking for him. Don't worry, he will play. But all right, San Diego FC. That is pretty much it for this week. We will see you here this weekend for that match. 2 matches at Snapdragon. Oof.
Yeah, Saturday, Sunday.
Saturday, Sunday.